Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. It took me a little while to set up this whole filming situation. I don't know how well it will be in the end. I played with my ISO, and I've never ever touched it because I'm always paranoid that I will mess up the settings in my camera, and then when I go back to filming the overhead or taking pictures or whatever, it just will be different. So let's see. I'm hoping it's not going to have any graininess. I also played around with some lighting. I wanted it to be kind of cozy and warmish, and then have some sort of light still of the daylight. So I don't know how it's looking, but I've got something down below there, so it's kind of slightly illuminating from the bottom. So anyway, I will find out when I'm editing, and I hope it's a decent quality video in the end. So today is going to be a little catch up and just chatting about everything and anything that has been happening work-wise and art-wise and all of that good stuff. But let's start with the exciting part of the video. I finally was able to release my latest Colourful Landscapes online course, which has been an interesting journey, and I will share that with you today as well. So it's available now on adonacreates.com, and it's basically my website, and you will find everything there, my online school as well as my online shop and everything that I will be gradually adding to the website. So basically the course I managed to film in between commissions that I have been working since September. It was one commission after another. It's been super busy for me, and I was also trying to maintain my business. I had to put some projects to a side to be able to facilitate those commissions. And so one of the things has been on my mind, of course, is the Colourful Landscape. So I was quite happy to be able to film it, edit it, and then I just had to basically put it on the website. And sorry, I had to wait a little bit. There was some sort of slightly one of those teensy mad dogs outside barking their heads off. Yeah, so the course was all done and ready to go. I actually gave a release date, which was supposed to be Monday the 11th. And when I got to the part of publishing the course, when everything was ready, I hit a wall because I didn't realize that with the plan that I had on Teachable, I was able only to have 5 courses published. Now, of course, there must have been something mentioned when I was getting this plan, but this was years ago and I honestly couldn't remember, and I for sure wasn't aware. Once I needed to add the 6, which would have been Colourful Landscapes, it just kind of blocked it and said something along the lines, you need to upgrade to the next plan to be able to go up to 50 courses. So that plan is 3 times as much of a payment, annual payment, than what I'm already paying. And what I'm already paying on Teachable per year, I wasn't happy with. And I actually mentioned it, I think, a number of times here on YouTube in my vlogs, that I don't think I want to be staying with them, because on top of the payment that I have to do every year, which is a big payment, and it always happens in the summer, and I need to have that big chunk of money sitting in my account or be ready. So I have to adjust all of my other products, and I have to adjust all of my payments and things like that to make sure that I have that amount to be able to pay for the plan. So I thought it already was quite high for what it was. And keeping in mind, on top of that, there was also a 5% transaction fee on top. So yeah, it was very kind of, I felt it was more expensive than what it should be like. But having said that, in this last year, so in these last 12 months, I felt that when I published 2 courses, the Cozy Mushrooms and this one now, that things were slightly easier to navigate on their website. Before that, when I first signed in years ago, I really hated using the website. It just was so user unfriendly, and I messaged them a number of times, decided they need to improve the layout and how things are. They're just illogical. So anyways, I'm guessing some sort of improvements have been made, so that's a good thing, that's a positive. But still, I just don't think that paying that amount of money, now I realize I was only able to have 5 courses. Now, the problem with that is when you publish a new course, you get these instant sales, and then things go down. And then throughout the year, you might have a few sales here and there, but it's very unpredictable. You might have 1 month, you might have just one of a particular course, or you might have a couple of sales from all over the other courses. Or you might have a lot more suddenly. It just kind of is really erratical. So where I'm going with this is that I got to a point now before publishing this Cozy Landscapes where I knew I want to build up a number of courses in the coming year. So in 2024, that was my plan, to be producing courses a lot more frequently and have a lot more diversity in my online school. And already this year I have done 2 courses, which I think before that I took quite a break, maybe a year or 2, producing any courses. So I started working it up. But of course, now that I hit the wall, I just didn't know what to do. Now, coming back to the plan price for the upgrade. So if I'm currently paying around close to $500 per year, and that's a one-off payment, so annually, the new plan, the upgrade, is just under $1,500. So that's 3 times more. And I was like, oh my God. But of course, if you have the possibility of going up to 50 courses, which would take me years to fill up my school with 50 courses, then that means I would be generating more money, and I guess it wouldn't be as painful. But to begin with, you have to kind of start somewhere. And the way this works is they would charge me to upgrade an immediate fee of $570 for the remainder of the year. So that's to top up the current plan with the upgrade. And then come around June, July, I would have to dish out the next full-on payment, which is the $1,400 something, under $1,500. So that means within 6 months I would have paid Teachable $2,000, which would put me under quite a big pressure of producing a lot more courses, that even though I planned to do it, but I didn't plan for that extra cost that would occur. For me to pay out, like right now, to upgrade the $570, you have to have them in your business account sitting there and just doing nothing. Of course, for every small business, when you know you will have large spending for running your business, like when you want to create new products or whatever it is that you're working on, you will make sure you have that amount of money so that you can that particular month. So you kind of plan for it. But here, of course, I didn't plan for this, and I was in such a difficult position where I promised all of my viewers that I will be publishing my course on the 11th, and of course I was working hard to get there, to then be facing this situation. And I really got quite annoyed with Teachable for that reason. I then started looking into moving onto another platform, and I did find something, but it takes time to, first of all, check your finances, check your ingoings and outgoings, and figure out what sort of money you would have available, then go into researching other platforms. So it just really delayed me by a day, and I was kind of thinking, shall I just quit Teachable there and there and then move things over? But then I thought that's going to take me even longer. So what I decided to do for now, to be able to publish, is to retire one of my classes that looked like did the least well in the entire kind of spectrum of all of my online courses. So I have retired that class, but I'm not very happy with it because in September I did have a purchase, and if I had an opportunity to leave all the courses, you know, within the years they still bring you money, even though not as much as a newly published course, but they still bring you some money. And as a teacher, like our teacher or our tutor, you have to face this kind of dilemma of taking down a course that you spend time creating and that you still want your students to be aware of, and you know, if they want to take it one day they can. I don't want to be taking my courses down. So the other platform that I found seems a lot more reasonable in price. I don't know how the platform kind of is, you know, the whole system and how it sort of looks once you are subscribed to it. So that I don't know. So I have to do a lot more research, and I will leave it to the next year. I'll have to do a deep dive. And that's another thing, like my website last year where I had to quit Etsy because they damaged my business quite a bit. I had to then build not only my own website but also my new online shop on Shopify, and I have been super happy with Shopify. Had really great experience, no hiccups at all so far, and knock on wood it's been alright. So yeah, it looks like I will have to do the same with Teachable. I know I have a big problem with big companies taking such a huge cut from your payments. They provide a platform, but you do all the hard work. And yeah, I don't know. I personally think, especially in this day and age when things are going, like technology-wise, so fast and they improve so quickly and they grow so quickly, I just don't think that something like Teachable deserves to be paid that much to have still that limitation of 50 courses. So what if I get to that point of 50 courses? I mean, I might not care by then if I need to retire all the courses because I will be generating enough money. But at the same time, I found a platform that does it for less than this 1,500. So I think it would be around, maybe, just trying to do the math, around $1,200, and it would be unlimited. So I might consider that. I don't know. Then of course you kind of know already Teachable and you sort of trust them, you know, there haven't been any major issues with it. So I don't know, that's something I'm just kind of like considering. So that's what I will be facing next year, and January is already looking like it's going to be a super busy month, continuing with the commissions. There was one commission that was supposed to happen middle of December and it's been moved to January, and then I have one at the end of January, which is the big one. So basically, yeah, January will be very busy for me. So I guess I will start looking into the whole Teachable malarkey in February, somewhere there. So another thing I wanted to mention are these clay dishes. They are for mixing watercolors. Here we go. Focusing is slightly more difficult with this lighting system that I have going. So here we have 4 different clay mixing dishes, and I put 2 sets together where if you buy all 4 like this in a set, you basically get the tiny little one for free. So I thought it's a great deal for those of you who are looking for some cute little handmade gift ideas. So it's available on my website alionacreates.com. They also can be bought individually, and I don't know if I should pull it out now. I feel better. It looks quite cute, but anyways, I'll open it up. It looks like a tiered cake, and you have this little dish first with wells in there, and then you have the medium 2 dishes, one with a more flat base and the other one with 8 wells, and then you have the larger one which is also with 8 wells and has a bigger center to mix with, so you can use basically the big one for kind of all purposes. And this is, I'm just going to show you all 3 sizes in one in one go. So that's still available if you wanted to check it out. Another thing I want to mention on the subject of Shopify, they have been running smoothly, and like I said, I haven't encountered any issues. It's a lot more professional platform if you want to set up an online shop and sell things. It is, you could do much bigger businesses with it. And in fact, I've actually realized that some really, really big businesses are using this platform as well. So there is no need for those. If you remember when I went to the graphic designers and they gave me like 10K plus upfront fee with then additional forever cost for maintaining the website that they would build for me with the integrated online shop. So there's just no need for these companies. Personally, I have no idea how they're surviving, because in this day and age, there are places that are super well designed and that can basically run the whole thing for you. So yeah, Shopify, I have only good things to say about. One caveat though with having something that's so professional is that you then have the responsibility of setting up everything yourself. So for example, as a UK-based small business, there's a couple of things. So the shipping, for example, I have to do myself. So I have to go onto Royal Mail and then generate the tickets or the shipping labels myself. And I figured out that's the best way to do. They do provide you a service that's integrated, but I do not like that particular company that does it. And they only do it within the UK, which is no. So yeah, and basically I'm using Royal Mail for everything, UK and international, and it's fine. The only thing is, of course, I have to go onto the Royal Mail and do it all myself, whereas on Etsy, they would kind of automatically generate those tickets for you based on the information you provided for each listing. And that would be slightly faster. However, then it messed up all the payments, the taxes, the import-export taxes, and for my accountant to then figure out what was paid where and deducted, and it was a complete and utter mess. So again, if you're a small business, maybe it's like it works for a little while, but once you're growing, you then realize it's unsustainable. So didn't work really well for me later on at all. Another thing is the taxes, like I mentioned before. So the taxes also have to be set up, and every country has their own tax system. So I'm not a great person to explain all of this to you. I have an accountant that helps me out with that. But the point is, yeah, so Canada is one country that we haven't been able to sort out yet. And the reason is something along the lines that Canada has 5 different regions when it comes to tax. And when you're sending something out to Canada, depending where from it was ordered, the tax has to be then aligned with that. Firstly, of course, I need to register and set it all up. And that's kind of like a whole separate thing to deal with. So we haven't been able to do that yet. But one thing I am considering while we're still figuring out how to sort that out, that I might just for that time move to Etsy just to do Canada, is what I'm thinking, because otherwise I just feel so bad. I had a big Canada customer base, and I feel bad that I can't ship to my customers who have been supporting me for so many years and purchasing my products and enjoying my products. So I want to be able to continue that business with Canada, but just at the moment it's been quite tricky since I moved to Shopify, because I had to set up everything manually. So that's the reason behind it. And like I said, I'm thinking in the new year just to put a certain amount of products on Etsy just for Canada and have it at least available that way. because just Etsy doesn't work for me to support the entire business. But Canada was easy in the sense that everything was set up already and I didn't need to figure anything out. So that's something we can do. Otherwise, since I finished filming my online course, I haven't been doing any painting. And then I've been just editing things and working around that. And I do now miss, I always get these moments where the business side of things takes me away from creating, and then I just start really missing it and craving it and kind of feeling this slight agitation that I can't let my creativity out. It's like it almost feels like it's bottled up, and I just want to be painting and, experiencing that fluidity on paper and the colors, the watercolors and the acrylics and whatever, just any medium, but kind of just working with it. So those are the main plans for the next year that I have to sort out. Another thing, of course, is going back to making my own handmade watercolors. I want to set up a proper area for me to be creating those down in the garage. So I'm kind of thinking what to do with that rather than doing it on my desk, because I don't want to have any pigments around here, even though I use a mask, of course. But I feel like because some of the pigments are so light that they sometimes just settle on everything and you don't notice them. So I don't want to be working with pigments in my studio here, but just move everything down there and somehow figure out how to do things, because everything has to be clean and dust free and all of that. So I might need to set up like a little lab corner there. Another thing I want to try next year is start selling prints of my artwork. I also had quite a few queries about that, because prints are more affordable than the original artwork, and so why not? I know that there are brilliant printing companies these days that you can use, and it honestly looks like the original. Like, I wouldn't be able to tell if you didn't put the original next to it. I wouldn't be able to tell that that's not an original. And I'm talking about watercolors, of course, and I think pencils as well. In terms of acrylic paint, that's a slightly different. You don't get that texture in a print because it's flat. But otherwise, flat mediums look just exactly like the original thing. So now let's look back a little bit at 2023. For me personally, it's been a fantastic year. It's been super successful work-wise. I was just inundated with commissions, which I was so glad, and I am still glad and thankful about. And it's been a really lovely experience, although sometimes challenging, because no longer are you working for yourself and doing what you want. You have to work within a team, and you have to feedback, and you have to wait for a feedback, and you have to kind of throw in ideas, and those ideas might work, they may not work, you may need to go back and consider new things. So it's a really interesting, completely different dynamic of working, and it's something that has been really refreshing. Working with people, having phone calls or Zoom meetings, and just like, when you're in the office, when you socialize with people, I obviously don't have that running my own business at my home, at my desk, and I don't speak to anyone. And in that way, I'm so happy that I built quite a few friendships here on YouTube with people that I feel so connected, and I feel like we have so much in common, more than people that I know in real life. So it's been such an amazing time building friendships with people across the globe, and I'm so thankful for all of you and for the support, for the feedback, for just building a community where we can bounce ideas off each other, and we can just have this like a comfortable, cozy, nice place to hang out, and just even though I'm chatting to a camera, I kind of can imagine that we're sort of almost chatting in real life, which is all very bizarre. But thank goodness to YouTube and other social platforms that allow us to do that. This year has been a year of revelations for me. A lot of questions have been answered. A lot of, when you are uncertain about something or you suspect something, but you don't know whether it's that or not. So a lot of these things have been revealed to me, and it's been, although the first half of the year has been challenging because of Etsy and setting up everything from fresh, including my website and my shop, online shop. Otherwise, from the summer onwards, it's been amazing. And I can only hope that the next year will be just as good as this one. The final point I want to make is about finding your voice and finding sort of confidence in who you are and loving who you are and not being forced to be someone else by surroundings, whatever it may be. And I don't know when I should go into this and how deeply I should go, but I have been struggling to express this point. I've tried now to film the ending a few times. So I think the main point that I want to say is this. I feel like there are a lot of women in the same situation that I am, and a lot of women accept it and just kind of live their life as is dictated to them. And I would encourage you to try and live your life the way you want to live it and be who you are and enjoy things that are part of you. What I'm trying to encourage is particularly for women. I think for men it's easier, especially if you have a mother-in-law who likes to dictate and has some sort of a complex with feeling that she is the main event in anything, especially your husband's life, then it is even more important to not let that happen. Be who you are, be confident, be classy, because when you're intelligent, you can be quiet for some time, you can be kind of pushed down, but eventually it will come out, because it's just, there is no point. There is absolutely no point. And I guess I want to finish this vlog by encouraging you to stand up for yourself, voice your opinions. If you see someone doing something wrong, don't feel like you're going to hurt that person by saying, hey, stop, that's not right, I don't agree with that. There is nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is actually trying to be polite and not say anything. Psychologically, over the years, it will bottle up. It's like this sort of energy that's not yours. You will be kind of carrying it around, and it's like a bag of stones. It's so heavy. Literally just, freeing yourself from that, dropping that bag of stones and releasing yourself from that energy. It will be so good for your mental state, as well as if you're a creative nature, which I suppose you are if you're watching my channel. Then also creativity wise, you will find that you will start to be a lot more experimental, a lot more daring, a lot more free. You will gain more success if you're running a business. I find that sort of all of that will kind of just go away like, like a cloud. And so I hope that was somewhat inspiring, and please leave your comments down below. I think this will be the last catch up for this year. And one more thing before I go. If you wonder what my favorites of 2023 are, check out the gift guides that I've done for watercolor, colored pencils, and books. So those three will basically double as my favorites as well, because everything that I loved using this year I put into the gift guide. So if you're not interested in selecting any of those items for gift ideas, then at least you will know that those are my favorite art supplies. I will leave you with that jolly note. I hope you have a fantastic break. There will be still videos coming out throughout December, but I think it will be just once a week. And there are quite a few book reviews coming, because I realized when doing the book gift guide that a couple of books somehow I never reviewed. So there is a little stack of books that I will be going through. and reviewing those, and those are easy videos for me to film, and I'm just looking forward to take a little break. So yeah, be yourself and don't let anyone tell you who you are, because you know better. All right, I will leave you with that thought, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.